Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. India joins Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development OECD and G20 Inclusive Framework Tax Deal of Global Corporate Tax. Government decides to bring retail and wholesale trade under the ambit of micro, small and medium enterprises. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says government is playing a proactive role in addressing price rise of essential commodities in the country. In Uttar Pradesh, multiplex cinema halls, gyms and sports stadiums to reopen from 5th July. Country is registering a significant decline in active caseloads and fresh cases of COVID-19. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves further to 97%. Vaccination coverage crosses 34 crore mark. In Jammu and Kashmir, 5 terrorists associated with Lashkar-e-Taiba terror outfit gunned down by security forces. India registers strong protest with Pakistan over security breach of Indian High Commission complex in Islamabad. In tennis, Rohan Bopanna and Sania Mirza defeat Ramkumar Ramanathan and Ankita Raina in mixed doubles first round match at Wimbledon Championship. In Euro Cup football, quarter-final fixtures begin tonight. Spain to face Switzerland, while Belgium to take on Italy in 2 encounters. And Somen Mondal from Mednipur becomes the first winner in Olympics quiz with AIR News. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also to help others to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 01123978046 and 1075. And now the news. India has joined the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development OECD and G20 Inclusive Framework Tax Deal of Global Corporate Tax. According to a Finance Ministry press release, the member OECD and G20 countries adopted a high-level statement containing an outline of a consensus solution to address the tax challenges arising from the digitalization of the economy. The proposed solution consists of 2 components: reallocation of additional share of profit to the market jurisdictions and minimum tax subject to tax rules. However, the technical details of the proposal will be worked out in the coming months and a consensus agreement is expected by October. The Finance Ministry said the principles underlying the solution vindicates India's stand for a greater share of profits for the markets. It said India is in favor of a consensus solution which is simple to implement and simple to comply with. At the same time, the solution should result in allocation of meaningful and sustainable revenue to market jurisdictions, particularly for developing and emerging economies. The government has decided to bring retail and wholesale trade under the ambit of micro, small and medium enterprises, MSME. It has issued revised guidelines to include retail and wholesale trade as MSME and extending to them the benefit of priority sector lending under RBI guidelines. In a series of tweets, MSME Minister Nitin Gadkari said the decision will benefit 2.5 crore retail and wholesale traders. He said the government is committed to strengthening of MSME and making them engines for economic growth. With the revised guidelines, the retail and wholesale trades will now be allowed to register on Udyam registration portal.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that the central government is playing a proactive role in addressing the issue of rising prices of essential commodities in the country. Speaking to media persons in Bengaluru today, she said that the government has announced a series of financial packages to reduce the burden of the poor during the pandemic.
There is a group of ministers which monitors it regularly. Edible oil prices, because of the way in which edible oil, the oil seed production has been affected, and India's dependence on edible oil import is very high, the prices went up. Another step is about the pulses. There is a fall in the production of pulses. Therefore, we are ending up importing from Myanmar, importing from Mozambique, importing from some countries in Africa, Canada.
On the possibility of reducing the petrol prices, the minister pointed out that the international prices of petrol have reached $75 per barrel, and as the rate increases, she noted that the central government levies fixed charges and the state component is added in the petrol price. The union government has said that country is registering a significant decline in active caseloads and fresh cases amid the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. With this, the recovery rate is continuously improving and it has reached 97% in the country. Briefing the media in New Delhi today, Joint Secretary of Health and Family Welfare Ministry, Love Agarwal, has said the country is witnessing decline in the daily number of cases due to continued efforts of containment and restriction strategies. He said country has reported over 46,000 cases during the last 24 hours.
Continued efforts of containment और restrictions लगाने की वजह से हमने देखा कि केसेस में कमी आई है और पिछले 24 घंटे में देश में 46,617 केसेस रिपोर्ट हुए हैं.
Terming the vaccination a major tool in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Agarwal has said over 34 crore COVID vaccine doses have been administered to the beneficiaries so far across the country. He said 27 crore 95 lakh first dose have been administered to the beneficiaries and 6 crore 6 lakh second doses have been given to the people so far. He said India has administered the largest number of COVID vaccine doses in the world so far, followed by the United States of America, wherein 32 crore 81 lakh vaccine doses have been administered. He said the country had administered on average over 39 lakh doses in the last month, which shows that the pace of vaccination has picked up in the country. Mr. Agarwal has said despite the decrease in the COVID-19 fresh cases and positivity rate, people must rigorously follow the COVID-19 appropriate behavior. Niti Aayog member Health Dr. V.K. Paul has cautioned that the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic is not over and the people should not lower their guard against this deadly disease. He has urged the people to get vaccinated and follow COVID-appropriate behavior for better protection from coronavirus disease.
थर्ड वेव आना नहीं आना हमारे हाथ में है. हमारे तैयारी रहेगी थर्ड वेव की, बहुत ज्यादा तैयारी रहेगी. रूरल एरियाज में बच्चों के लिए फैसिलिटीज, बेड, आईसीयू, वेंटिलेटर्स, ऑक्सीजन, दवाइयां, कंटेनमेंट की स्ट्रेटजी, वो सब तैयारी रहेगी, टेस्टिंग. बट एट द सेम टाइम अगर हम डिसिप्लिन हैं, दृढ़ निश्चय रखते हैं, तो ये वेव नहीं आएगी और नहीं आनी चाहिए. देश का संकल्प ये होना चाहिए कि हम किसी भी नई आउटब्रेक को आने नहीं देंगे.
Mr. Agarwal has said that the country is witnessing a declining trend in the case positivity of the last 8 weeks. However, 71 districts in the country are still registering case positivity more than 10%. Referring to a study conducted by the PGI Chandigarh on the vaccine effectiveness, Dr. Paul has said COVID vaccines provide immunity against the coronavirus disease.
हर व्यक्ति जिसने 2 डोज ली थी 98% प्रोटेक्शन है. वैक्सीन एफिकेसी उन्होंने रिपोर्ट करी है विद 2 डोजेज 98%, विद 1 डोज 92%. डेटा बार बार आ रहा है जो दर्शाता है कि वैक्सीन लेने से सीरियस डिजीज कम होती है. सीएमसी वेलोर की बात आपको समझाई थी, वहां भी लगभग यही रिजल्ट था, ऑलमोस्ट द सेम रिजल्ट इन हेल्थ केयर वर्कर्स. 1 डोज 92% प्रोटेक्टिव, 2 डोजेज 98% प्रोटेक्टेड फॉर डेथ.
On the availability of the vaccine, Dr. Paul has said that the continuous efforts have been made to ensure the sufficient doses of COVID-19 vaccines in the country. He said India is in talks with Johnson & Johnson for their single-dose vaccine, and this vaccine will also be produced by BioE. About the total number of Delta plus variant cases in the country, Dr. Paul said that there are 56 Delta AY1 cases in 12 states.
Pregnant women can now take the COVID vaccine. The Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry today gave its nod for the vaccination of pregnant women. The decision was taken by the Health Ministry on the recommendations from National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization, NTAGI. For getting vaccinated, pregnant women can register on CoWIN or directly go to the nearest COVID vaccination centre. The Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry has prepared an operational guideline for vaccination of pregnant women, counselling kit for medical officers and frontline workers. The procedures and modalities of COVID-19 vaccination will remain the same as it is for any beneficiaries above 18 years of age. Chairperson of the COVID-19 Working Group of the National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization, Dr. N.K. Arora, has said that both pregnant women and children can be saved by COVID vaccine. The External Affairs Ministry has expressed the hope that Indians vaccinated through domestic vaccination program will be treated at par with those vaccinated in the European Union EU countries, and the CoWIN vaccination certificate will be recognized by the EU on a reciprocal basis. In reply to a question during weekly media briefing, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said that EU has instituted an EU digital COVID certificate for exempting restrictions on the movement of vaccinated people.
We understand that the European Union has now instituted what is called a EU digital COVID certificate for exempting restrictions on the movement of vaccinated people. Our expectation is that Indians who have been vaccinated through our domestic vaccination program would be treated at par with those vaccinated in the EU, and the CoWIN vaccination certificate would be recognized by the EU on a reciprocal basis.
Meanwhile, sources have said that the European Union countries, the Netherlands, has fully recognized the Serum Institute of India manufactured Covishield vaccine for travellers. The country has accepted this vaccine as a valid proof of vaccination against COVID-19.
In Uttar Pradesh, multiplex cinema halls, gyms and sports stadiums will be allowed to operate in compliance with the COVID protocol from 5th of July. Our Lucknow correspondent has filed this report.
In a meeting with top officials of state, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said that the business of cinema hall operators has been affected due to COVID and their needs and problems should be considered sympathetically. The detailed guidelines to open multiplex cinema halls, gyms and sports stadiums will be issued later. Meanwhile, more than 2.5 lakh COVID tests are being done every day in the state, while the positivity rate has come down to less than 1%. In the last 24 hours, only 133 new cases of infection have come, while 228 patients have recovered after getting treatment. Around 5 crore 83 lakh tests have been done in the state. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
The sixth session of the 17th Lok Sabha will commence on 19th of this month. Lok Sabha Secretariat in a statement said that subject to exigencies of government business, the session is likely to conclude on 13th of August. The government is likely to bring in a number of bills in the upcoming session. There will be of total 20 working days of Parliament.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has lauded Uttar Pradesh's efforts to increase investment and improving the ease of doing business in the last 4 years. Commenting on a tweet by the office of Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, the Prime Minister underlined the fact that rural areas and small towns are also witnessing these achievements. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that India has recorded the highest ever export in the first quarter of April to June this year, despite the severity of the second wave of COVID-19. Addressing a press conference in New Delhi, Mr. Goyal said India's economy is growing and the exports are also growing. He said the highest ever merchandise export of $95 billion has been achieved in the first quarter of this financial year between April to June. He said it has surpassed the earlier peak of export in quarter 4 of 2020-21, which was $90 billion. Mr. Goyal said the export of engineering goods increased by $5.2 billion over the first quarter of 2019-20. He also said rice exports growth has also remained positive since May last year.
You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India joins Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, and G20 Inclusive Framework Tax Deal of Global Corporate Tax. Government decides to bring retail and wholesale trader under ambit of micro, small and medium enterprises. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says government is playing a proactive role in addressing price rise of essential commodities in the country. In Uttar Pradesh, multiplex cinema halls, gyms and sports stadiums to reopen from 5th of July. Country is registering a significant decline in active caseloads and fresh cases of COVID-19. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves further to 97%. Vaccination coverage crosses 34 crore mark. In Jammu and Kashmir, 5 terrorists associated with Lashkar-e-Taiba terror outfit gunned down by security forces. India registers strong protests with Pakistan over security breach of Indian High Commission complex in Islamabad. In tennis, Rohan Bopanna and Sania Mirza defeats Ram Kumar Ramanathan and Ankita Raina in mixed doubles first round match at Wimbledon Championship. In Eurocup football, quarter-final fixtures begin tonight. Spain to face Switzerland, while Belgium to take on Italy in 2 encounters. And Shomain Mondal from Mednipur becomes the first winner in Olympics quiz with AIR News. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The Centre is disseminating awareness of national helpline numbers for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The helpline number of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry is 1075. The Child Helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 08046110007. The Ayush COVID-19 Counselling helpline number is 14443. And MyGov WhatsApp help desk number is 9013151515.
Welcome back to the evening news. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, District Commander of Banned Terror Outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba LT, identified as Nishaz Lone, a Pakistani terrorist, is among 5 terrorists gunned down by security forces today in a gunfight which had broken out late last night at Hanjin village of Rajpura area in South Kashmir's Pulwama district. During the operation, one army Jawan, namely Havaldar Kashirai Bamanali, also laid down his life in the line of his duty in a fierce firefight with terrorists and attained martyrdom. The first day of the budget session of the newly constituted West Bengal Legislative Assembly witnessed noisy scenes as the governor did not read his entire speech amid the ruckus created in the House. Our Kolkata correspondent filed this report.
The first day of the budget session of the newly constituted West Bengal Legislative Assembly witnessed noisy scenes as the governor did not read his entire speech amid the ruckus created in the House. As Governor Jagdeep Dhankad started his customary inaugural address this afternoon, BJP legislators led by Leader of Opposition Shubhendu Adhikari trooped to the well and started shouting slogans. Governor Dhankad read the speech for about 4 minutes, tabled it and left the House. Speaker Biman Banerjee and Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee were seen escorting him as he left the assembly premises. Later, Mr. Adhikari told the reporters that the governor's speech prepared by the state government was far from the truth and did not contain issues like post-poll violence and grim law and order situation in West Bengal. Priyanka for All India Radio, Kolkata.
The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, today said the recently announced monetary, regulatory and fiscal policy measures will help in the economic recovery that has been severely dented by the ferocious second wave of COVID-19. As per the 23rd issue of the Financial Stability Report, FSR, released by the RBI today, sustained policy support, benign financial conditions and the gathering momentum of vaccination are nurturing an uneven global recovery. In its report, the central bank flagged emerging threats to economic recovery from soaring commodity prices, new COVID variants and spillover effects from international markets. However, RBI said the financial system is resilient enough to deal with such jolts. The report also highlights the gross non-performing asset ratio is likely to increase to 9.80% in March 2022 as compared to 7.48% in March 2021. The report said that the ratio may increase to 11.22% under severe stress scenarios, even though banks have sufficient capital both at the aggregate and individual level. Maharashtra government today announced an evaluation scheme for the students of 12th standard studying in junior colleges of State Board of Higher Education. In the final result of 12th standard, 30% weightage will be given to 10th and 11th standard marks. For 10th standard marks, an average of 3 subjects having highest marks will be considered. Final results of 11th standard will have 30% weightage. 40% weightage will be given to marks obtained in internal exams, practice exams, first semester exams of 12th standard.
As vehicle movement is increasing due to the easing of restrictions imposed by the COVID-19, the toll collection through FASTag is reaching the level recorded before the second wave of the COVID pandemic. The Road Transport and Highways Ministry has said that toll collection in the last month increased to over 2,576 crore rupees, which is around 21% higher than the toll collected in May. With around 3.48 crore users, FASTag penetration across the country is at around 96% and many toll plazas having 99% penetration. It is estimated that FASTag will save around 20,000 crore rupees per year. The External Affairs Ministry has said that India has officially taken up the matter related to the spotting of a drone over the premises of Indian High Commission in Islamabad with the government of Pakistan. The drone was spotted on the 26th of June this year. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said India has asked Pakistan to investigate the incident and prevent recurrence of such breach of security.
A drone was spotted over the premises of the Indian High Commission in Islamabad on 26th June this year. This has been taken up officially with the government of Pakistan. We expect Pakistan to investigate the incident and prevent recurrence of such breach of security.
In reply to another question related to a drone attack at the Indian Air Force station in Jammu, Mr. Bagchi said the investigation is in progress. 2 explosives-laden drones crashed into the IAF station at Jammu Airport in the early hours of Sunday, perhaps the first time that suspected Pakistan-based terrorists have used unmanned aerial vehicles in an attack.
Ranked number 1 in the world in the 52 kilograms category, Amit Pangal, with his fierce punching, is a strong contender for a medal at the Tokyo Olympics. A strong passion for boxing and burning desire to achieve something for the nation keeps Amit going during tough times.
Ranked number 1 in the world in the 52 kilogram category, Amit Pangal with his fierce punching is a strong contender for a medal at the Tokyo Olympics. A strong passion for boxing and a burning desire to achieve something for the nation keeps Amit going during tough times.
स्टार्टिंग में जैसे हमारे पास ग्लव्स तक के पैसे नहीं थे, इक्विपमेंट खरीदने के पैसे नहीं थे, तो मैं दोस्तों से इक्विपमेंट होती थी, मैं उनसे ग्लव्स लेके या इक्विपमेंट लेके मैं ट्रेनिंग करता था उस टाइम.
Amit's father, Vijendra Singh, did everything he could to support Amit during such tough phases so that Amit becomes a better boxer. The government has extended full support to Amit's preparation for the Tokyo Olympics.
BFI का और साई का बहुत ही बड़ा रोल है हमारी बॉक्स, क्योंकि जो भी हमें चाहिए होता है हम BFI को या साई को ही बोलते हैं, वही हर चीज हमें प्रोवाइड करवाती है.
By virtue of his sheer determination to overcome every challenge and his ability, Amit is determined for big achievements at Tokyo. Arjun Chaudhary, Sports Desk.
Shomen Mondal, hailing from West Bengal's Mednipur, has won the first edition of AIR News Olympic Quiz by becoming the fastest to send the right answer. Coincidentally, today is Shomen's birthday as well. AIR congratulates Shomen on winning the quiz and wishes him a happy birthday.
मैं सबसे पहले आकाशवाणी और स्पोर्ट्स कैन की पूरी टीम को धन्यवाद जानना चाहता हूँ टोक्यो ओलंपिक से पहले इतनी सुंदर ओलंपिक क्विज आयोजन करने के लिए. आज मेरी बर्थडे है और इस बर्थडे में स्पोर्ट्स कैन में क्विज जीतना और आकाशवाणी से बात करना अब तक की मेरी बर्थडे की सबसे अच्छी गिफ्ट है.
All India Radio's Olympic Quiz, launched yesterday, has received a tremendous response from across the country. Hundreds of listeners have emailed their responses. To take part in the Olympic Quiz, tune in to SportsCan program.
Sania Mirza and Rohan Bopanna overcame Ankita Raina and Ramkumar Ramanathan in a unique all-Indian battle on the grass courts of Wimbledon today to progress to the mixed doubles second round. Capitalizing on Ankita Raina's poor serve, Rohan Bopanna and Sania Mirza won the first set 6-2 before Ramkumar Ramanathan and Ankita Raina mounted a fight back to take the second set to tiebreaker. But the Tokyo-bound pair maneuvered the challenge and won 7-6, 7-5 to enter the second round, thus ending another challenge of the other Indian pair. The experienced Indian duo reunited on the mixed doubles tour, won 6-2, 7-6 in a match that lasted 69 minutes. Mirza, 34 years old, and Bopanna, 41, started off strongly to race through the first set, but the Wimbledon debutants then came storming back in the second set to go into a 4-1 lead. Mirza and Bopanna, however, steadied the ship to force a tiebreaker and sealed the deal in straight sets. In Eurocup football, battle lines have been drawn for the quarter-final matches tonight. Three-time European champions Spain will clash with Switzerland in the first encounter, while Belgium will take on Italy in the second match later tonight. Czech Republic will lock horns with Denmark in the third quarter-final, and England will take on Ukraine in the fourth quarter-final tomorrow.
The Sensex and the Nifty today closed with modest gains. The rupee weakened 19 paise against the US dollar. A report from the Business World.
Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange climbed 166 points, a 0.32% to finish at 52,485. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange also gained 42 points, a 0.27% to settle at 15,722. In the foreign exchange market, the rupee today weakened by 19 paise in afternoon trade to 74 rupees and 75 paise against the US dollar. Gold was trading at 47,340 rupees per 10 grams. Silver prices also surged 550 rupees to trade around 68,705 rupees per kilogram, and crude oil prices fell more than 0.5% in intraday trade. Brent crude prices were trading around $75.40 per barrel. Arjun Chaudhary, AIR News.
Reeling under scorching heat wave, Delhi got the much-needed respite this evening as light rains were witnessed in several parts of the national capital. Daytime temperatures were above 40 degrees Celsius for the fourth consecutive day today, which have now dropped a few notches due to scattered rainfall in the city.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. Srinagar will experience partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Temperature will hover between 17 and 30 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature will be 26 degrees, maximum will be around 41. Leh is expected to have generally cloudy sky. Minimum and maximum temperature will be between 9 and 26 degrees. Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Temperature will hover between 16 and 35 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad, the weather will be scattered thunderstorms. The minimum temperature will be 18 degrees, maximum around 30. National capital Delhi will likely face generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Temperature will hover between 30 and 40 degrees. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature will be 27, maximum around 33. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Dehradun will face partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India joins Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development OECD and G20 Inclusive Framework Tax Deal of Global Corporate Tax. Government decides to bring retail and wholesale trade under the ambit of micro, small and medium enterprises. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says government is playing a proactive role in addressing price rise of essential commodities in the country. In Uttar Pradesh, multiplex cinema halls, gyms and sports stadiums to reopen from 5th July. Country is registering a significant decline in active caseloads and fresh cases of COVID-19. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves further to 97%. Vaccination coverage crosses 34 crore mark. In Jammu and Kashmir, 5 terrorists associated with Lashkar-e-Taiba terror outfit gunned down by security forces. India registers strong protest with Pakistan over security breach of Indian High Commission complex in Islamabad. In tennis, Rohan Bopanna and Sania Mirza defeat Ramkumar Ramanathan and Ankita Raina in mixed doubles first round match at Wimbledon Championship. In Eurocup football, quarter-final fixtures begin tonight And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.